Welcome to the Talent Show. People, what's up? How you doing? Hope all is well for you guys. I've missed you guys. It's been a couple of weeks. A lot of different things going on, so I'm proud to be back with you guys. Apologize for the delays, the missed weeks. We're trying. I promise you, we're trying. We got a lot going on, but hey, I told you I was gonna get my guy. Guess what? We got him on. So everybody, please welcome to the show. My family, my guy, Mr. Kylen Milton. Yes, sir. Woo, 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 woo. Everybody clap it up. So appreciate you for joining with us. Cause I mean, how's life treating you, man? How's COVID life treating you? What's been the details with you now in Pine Bluff? We're gonna get to that, of course.
Everything's been pretty good, I just been laying low, really just work on my craft and stuff, just stay out the way, stay focused, really.
So I usually start with who you are and your journey from start to where you are now. But when you have recent news, I like to get into that first. And if the people don't know, that I'll tell them that you recently transferred back to the state of Arkansas, University of Pine Bluff. Just a little briefly, because we're going to get more into it. Just a little briefly, why was it the decision to come back to UAPB, to come to UAPB, and what was the initial thought to transfer from Western Kentucky, man?
But I wanted to leave West Kentucky because I think it was a great fit for me. And then the dude, Coach Solo recruited me to ORU. He ended up getting the head coaching job at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. So it was basically like a no-brainer because it's back at home. It's not that far from the crib, so we wouldn't want to, play back at their home state. So I just feel like me coming from West Kentucky, I can, bring some knowledge, and I already got some experience from that program. And I just bring that over here and just the work.
All right, so now I'm getting back to our regular program schedule. So, Kylen, for the listeners that don't know who you are, just give them a brief overview of where you're from, what you're doing with your life right now, and just some things you've been able to accomplish to help you get where you are today, man.
I'm from Monticello, Arkansas. I got ripped to A70. And what was the other question again? My phone, sorry.
You get it, man. Just talk about just a little bit of your life, man. Where some things you've been able to accomplish. I know you've been a lot of places across the world playing basketball. Talk about some of those experiences and just who you are and what your family like is, man.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, my life has really just been good. I've been able to travel everywhere. I was in Atlanta for prep school. And we had a showcase in Brooklyn. I ended up winning the basically the MVP of that showcase. And me going to West Kentucky to play for a good coach, who has a lot of wins under his belt. He was a SEC Coach of the Year at one time. And then me being at ORU for the summer, that kind of helped me because the college level is way different from high school, prep school and stuff. So I kind of had a jump on that when I went to prep school. So it was cool.
You get into that, and I'm going to switch gears a little bit too, and I'll get back to my normal schedule, people. I know, but you talk about the differences between college and high school, and you kind of got a feel for that going to prep school in Atlanta. Talk about what was the major differences that you saw in the game, and what were some improvements that you immediately realized, hey, I got to get better I got to get better at this if I want to play with the top dogs.
So basically, the speed of the game that's way different, and you got over the defensive strategy and all that, knowing how to guard your defender, knowing how you're supposed to be out on defense, and then really just knowing the next play before you see it. I mean, that's basically it. And you obviously got to get stronger too, because you can't be no little boy playing in no little, what I'm talking about.
Okay, so back to you, man, and I think your story is really special. You talked about growing up in Monticello, Arkansas. Shout out to the A70, man. That's always home forever and always. What was that culture like growing up for you? How did you get involved? Was it basketball? Was that always your first love, or were you always playing different sports growing up, and then you kind of just found basketball and you realized, hey, I'm pretty good at this. It's something I should stick with.
I mean, I grew up playing basketball, but at the time I really wasn't good. Like, I was more of a football dude because my dad played football, so I was like, dang, I want to play football. I want to be just like my dad. And then I ended up getting hurt. My ninth grade year, I fractured my pelvis. So like, I don't know, it kind of just took my love away from football, and I like really just wanted to focus on basketball. And then I started to focus on basketball more. I just started to develop more. And I was really a natural, but to be honest, in my opinion, I was a better football player than I was basketball. If I can go back, I'll probably stick to football. But basketball, right, it's doing pretty good for me.
You talk about your father, Elgin Milton. Talk about were you that kid that was always under the spotlight because of his stature, his status? Obviously a UAM Hall of Famer, one of the best players ever come out of UAM. Was it something that you felt you had a lot of pressure to live up to, even if it's not a football player, but it's a basketball player, the academic, just the Kylen Milton name? Did you feel like that was something to live up to?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of in between because like everybody used to come up to me, man, your dad was a bad man in football. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm trying to get there one day, but then like at the same time, I ain't really think it was too much pressure on me because I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. Like I just wanted to play football, like just be good. I ain't really just think about no pressure about that, so it wasn't no big deal.
Was that status of his something that he pushed onto you to make you an athlete, or did you kind of just fall in love with sports on your own? Is that something that you had a really passion for your own?
I feel like he kind of pushed me to be that, but at the same time, I loved it too. Cause like I just loved being a competitor when I was younger. I just love winning. So I guess he just put that in me.
Going back to Monticello, man, what got you into representing Monticello? What was it putting on that Pirates jersey every other night and saying, "This is what I am, this is who I am, and this is what I love to do"? What was it about putting that Pirates jersey on?
Cause Monticello is a small town, so it ain't don't too many people know about it. So like I just like to rep it and stuff. Just need to let people know where I'm from. It was just felt good just putting on that Pirates jersey. Going and just killing every day. And like we was I want to say like my 7th through 9th grade year, like we was undefeated the whole time. We didn't lose not one game in basketball. So it was I just took pride in that.
When you talk about football kind of being your first love more than basketball, and you just kind of grew into basketball, at what age did you tend to say, I love football, but basketball is something that I really, really, really want to focus on now?
I want to say like going into my eighth grade year, because like I was a big fan of Malik Monk at the time.
Mm-hmm. One of the
Like
best out of the state too.
yeah, and he like his bounce was crazy. So I was like, man, I'm trying to be like him. I was like this football thing. I mean, I'm gonna still play, but I think I'm gonna try to focus more on basketball. And then unfortunately, I ended up getting hurt. So I ain't gonna say I had an excuse to go straight to basketball from football, but I mean, it just happened. So
We talk about Malik Monk, and for me, he personally changed the landscape of AAU basketball in the state of Arkansas. He obviously with his Woods Elite, and he's kind of put us on the map for Arkansas basketball. Where we kind of met was you playing for the Warriors, and that's where our relationship kind of grew. Talk about your AAU time. What was it like, and what did you gain from that you didn't gain playing school ball?
I just say like, I mean, playing free,
Yeah.
Because Coach Gary, shout out to Coach Gary, he just let me play free. And like at first when I was playing with him, like I said, I really wasn't that good. Then I grew like a couple inches and I got athletic. And he just let me free. So
Okay, and this is, I know, probably one of the tougher times for you to make a transition. You grew up in Monticello. That's always home for you.
yeah.
That's where the family is, and all of a sudden you're at Conway High School, and this is where you begin to make a name for yourself, not only as a player but as a Milton. Talk about Why was that transition made for you, and how were you welcomed at Conway first?
At first I didn't really think I was gonna make the team, but all things worked out for me. Coach Watson had contacted the high school coach at the time who was there. Uh, Contacted him. He seen my highlight tape. He said I was on the team, so it was just a blessing for that to happen. And then like people welcomed me like I was their brother, and so it's just like family. It really wasn't. I ain't gonna. Nah, it was. I wouldn't say it was like a big transition, but it was a transition because going from a 3A school to a 7A school,
Yeah.
Then the competition is way more better. So, I had to work hard every day, to prove my worth.
Before I get out of Monticello, and I meant to ask you this before, but what is, if someone's never been to Monticello, what's the one thing they have to do in your opinion when they're with their time in Monticello? What's something that you always spend a lot of time? It was a place you always went to.
In Monticello?
Yeah. No, it only got, matter of fact, it only got to be Monticello. It can be around the area. Wilmer, Warren, Dearmont, Dumas, any place.
I was always at my cousin's house, Gary's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, up in Lake. No, I wasn't Lake. Where that shit?
Selma.
Selma, I'm tripping. It's Selma. I was always at Gary's house, either at Gary's house in Selma, or go to Wilmer, Ralph Forward. Yeah, I was all over the place. Yeah, I used to love the South, man. Still do.
Always home, man. And now get back to your transition to Conway. This is the time that, for me personally, I saw you get to blossom. Your game, I saw your game improve a lot, technique wise, physically wise, and mentally wise. When did schools kind of get to notice you and start contacting you and say, "Hey, we want you here. We want you to be a part of our program"?
I'll say my junior year, that AAU summer. After my junior year, I was playing for Arkansas All Red. Like, actually, Solo he found me in the back gym. We was playing in this back gym in Texas. That's when he found me. Like, so I just kind of like started getting some notice from other coaches too as well. But Solo being from Arkansas, I mean, it's feel like it was a no-brainer. Like, feel like he was my guardian angel. Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah, I think about a lot of people, they talk about sports on social media, but they really don't know what you guys go through as athletes. Talk about what changed for you training wise as you got to the next level, going from 3A to being one of the biggest schools in the state. Talk about what's changed for you training wise, what your schedule changed was, and also how much more emphasis did you put on taking care of your body?
Talking about with the Conway?
Yeah.
I had to ice at practice because when I first got up there, the work was real different. Like, we lifting weights harder, heavier, and like we in there. I used to go up there probably in the morning time, and then we'll have practice, and then we'll have practice. No, I think it was just probably 2 days, but you really just gotta take care of your body more up there. Cause when I was in Monticello, we ain't had no like trainers or anything looking out for you, helping you take care of your body. Like, we had to do it on our own. And like up there, they got all the trainers and stuff, so they help you with that, help you take care of your body.
You go back and you talk about good times in high school. What was there one team that you always looked at your schedules like, I'm ready to play them, I'm ready to go in that atmosphere, and I'm ready to just get buckets? Was there always a one team you looked on your schedules like, I'm ready to give them buckets?
Man, I say North Little Rock. Like,
Yeah.
it was easy between us, but we ain't never lose on. I ain't trying to throw no say that. We ain't never lose North Little Rock. My junior or senior year, so it was good.
Adding on to that question, It's been crazy to see how much talent has grown in the state. But was there always one player that maybe gave you just a little bit of buckets, not too much? I'm not gonna throw too much shit in, but was there always one player that it may not have been you, it may just been the team as a whole. Was there always one player, AAU, school ball, that always gave you or your team buckets, man?
Uh,
Got to be somebody. Don't lie either, man.
yeah, I'm trying to think. That's kind of hard because I don't even remember. I don't know. I'll probably say this dude from Northside, Fort Smith, Tevin. I think that's his name. I forgot his last name, but his name is Tevin. He actually played for FIU right now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was a problem. Like, could nobody guard him. I think that was like my sophomore year in high school. Yeah, he was raw. He was nice.
I want to go back. You talk about getting to Conway, personal trainers being more on your body and you taking care of yourself a lot more and kind of focusing more on yourself. What were some of the biggest things about your game that you had to work on to kind of reach that high level of playing some of the biggest schools in the state from that you didn't really know about?
Uh, Basically like my ball handling.
Yeah.
You know, at the time I ain't have a jump shot. You know, I'm still working on that too. And then basically it's just like your mental. Your mental had to be like real strong to compete at a high level like that. Because if they know you like mentally weak, yeah, it's over. Baby food. So
Mm-hmm.
I just had to work on that. That's them the things I feel like I had worked on. I had got better at.
Now getting out of Conway, I think this is where you truly began to make a name for yourself at Core 4 Prep in Atlanta. And talk about that experience. How did you get in contact with them? How did you get there? And what was the process for going there instead of, maybe taking care of yourself first and being on your own or just going straight to the next level?
So after I was at ORU for the summer, I wanted to go prep school. So and then I had one of my coaches reach out to some schools for me, see where I can go. And then they ended up getting in contact with Coach Thomas at Core 4 Prep. And so like I don't know, it wasn't no big jump because I was already at ORU for the summer and then going into prep school. So I ain't gonna say the competition was easy, but like it was easier for me to get my buckets, easier for me to see the next play and stuff. So,
You talk about obviously transitioning from the game and speed wise and just working on everything. Why did you commit to Oral Roberts? What stood out about Oral Roberts more than any other school that was coming at you, getting you offers, interest? What stood about Oral Roberts?
it wasn't that far from home. Like it was only 3 hours away. Then on top of that, Coach Solo who recruited me there, he's from Arkansas too.
Yeah.
Be with him. And at the time, like our connection was just good. I had a real great bond with him. So, like I said, it was basically a no-brainer for me to go there.
All right, I'm gonna jump guns again. See, I don't know if the listeners know, but I know this. You decommitted from Oral Roberts and you actually attended Western Kentucky University. You talk about the family bond and how you have felt you wasn't too far away from home. So why did you decide to go farther away from home and take your talent somewhere else, man? What was that? What was that decision about?
Uh, I say like I don't want to say I had the wrong people in my ear, but because they thought it was the best decision for me at the time too, and I was getting like a lot of schools was looking at me, so it was kind of like peer pressure, and I feel like I was peer pressured into decommitting from Oral Roberts, and then when I ended up getting an offer from Western Kentucky, like some people was just telling me, man, you need to commit. You go ahead and commit there at Western Kentucky. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm ready. Then like I ended up committing there. Like I still wasn't sure about it, really wasn't feeling it. But I was there and like when I ended up getting there, I was excited about it. I was happy and I was ready to go.
All right, I want to go back to core four prep. I think this is something that you got a little bit of a taste of is the traveling experience as being one of the biggest basketball players in the country too. Talk about how much your sleep schedule kind of got affected. As I know that's something big important for an athlete, but talk about how much traveling kind of affected your time and how did you, depend on others to help you get back on your right training schedule.
Man, like we ain't really rest that much because we'll be in the gym like 9-10 hours a day, and then we'll go home, go to sleep, and it's for like you gotta wake right back up. So we just really had to like lock in and focus because we all know what we wanted to do and like what we was trying to achieve. And like traveling, man, I love traveling, man. Like we went everywhere. We went to Brooklyn, Florida, trying to see. We went to Rhode Island. That was traveling. It was nice. It was nice.
This is a more of a broader question, but even if this will still be Drew Central to where you are now, has there ever been a time where you said, I kind of want to take a little bit of time off from basketball and work on different things? Has there ever been that time where you kind of wanted to step away from the game?
And what time period does this have to be in?
Any man, before you got to Conway, Drew Central, Conway, where you are now, anytime.
I know. I ended up breaking my hand my junior year, and I broke my hand like a day before our first game. I was so mad. Like I was depressed, and like at the time I was just thinking, like, man, I don't even want to play basketball no more. I just like really just want to focus on myself. I was just like in a really dark place at the time. But after that, after my hand healed back, I don't know, something just triggered in my like, hey, I gotta go get him.
I want to go back and then we can transition a little bit more to Oral Roberts. Do you regret decommitting from there? Or is that something that you're like, nah, man, I'm proud of what I did. I had to do what I did. I had to handle my business.
Sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't, but I mostly regret it because, it went to the Sweet 16. I'm like, man, that could have been me and them. But it was all good. Everything happened for a reason. And I say I regret it a little bit, man. That's just how it be.
I think for you, you guys at Western Kentucky this past year, man, you guys had a real close chance of winning this USA and then going to the tournament. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I never told you about this, but since we get to this point, you talk about it, I kept thinking about you a lot, man. When Oral Roberts were doing their thing in the tournament, I was like, Kylen Milton would have been doing this thing in this right now, and it was kind of like, yeah. And then you got to UAPB, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. And I come see you in person a lot more too. So we wish nothing but the best for you. But I'm not gonna lie, I thought that same thing when they were in their tournament run. I was like, K Millen would have had a lot of fun doing this right now.
You wouldn't even imagine like all the people like texting me and stuff. You see ORU in the tournament? Ohio State. I'm like, bro, stop. It was crazy. But, I'm proud of my guys though.
Yeah. I want to go back to core four now. You had opportunity. I say this guy's one of the best dunkers, maybe the best dunker in high school basketball I've ever seen. I know you know who I'm talking about. My guy Jimma. Talk about your relationship with your teammates and your coaches that kind of helped you build it as a player and as a person at core four. And talk about going to Brooklyn and Florida, Rhode Island. Talk about what it's like playing in NBA arenas, man, and getting that NBA lifestyle.
It was good playing with Jimmy. He had great vibes, and he brought a lot of exposure to our program. So it was always good playing with him. And then like maybe on the fast break and I see him, it's
yeah.
Then like my coaches, they really helped us too. Like just being there for whenever we needed. Cause like at one time we all needed a haircut. Like, well, it was looking rough, and we was finna go out. I think it was the Brooklyn. So they just took us to go get haircuts and stuff like that. Bought us food whenever we needed it. You know, so it was good. You know, they just treated us like family.
I need me a cut right now. How I'm looking, viewers.
Ooh, boys. Ooh.
I need me a fresh fade. All right, though. We're not here to talk about my fresh fade. All right, y'all leave me alone. But you had now we're going back to your opportunity to commit to Western Kentucky, man. We'll talk about that experience. As I talked about, you had a chance to go to the NCAA tournament this past year, play with some great players, man. Charles Bassey being one of them who, has raised his draft stock this past season and more than likely going to be a first round draft pick. Talk about what it was like to be in that environment and what was something that you got to learn from Coach Stansberry, but you hadn't got a chance to learn from anywhere else, man, playing the game.
Was all right. I'll say one thing I learned from Coach Stansberry is like how to be patient. You know,
Yeah.
Even though like you're doing good in practice and stuff, I mean, it might not be your time yet.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta be patient. So that's one thing I learned. Then playing with Charles Bassey, like, man, it's Charles Bassey. Like, I was always around Charles. Like, he a fun guy, fun dude. He got good vibes, man. I was just happy for my guy. You know, dude finna get drafted tomorrow. I know that's a blessing. I just can't wait to see his name on there. Hopefully, my name be on there one day. So
yeah,
it was good.
And we're behind you, man. You just keep working. You'll get there one day, man. We got you, dog. And just something off Charles Bassett, man. I think that kid is incredible, man. And for you people that don't know, like that I follow Western Kentucky last year, very closely. Charles Bassett just came off a season-ending injury, and then he came back and draft stock was here and
dominating. Like I don't think a lot of people really expected him to do what he did. Cause like I don't know, dude, just it's mind blowing.
on both ends of the floor, man. Too post game transition, one of the best shot blockers in the country. Like he's the real deal. We're behind him too, man. I wish nothing but the best for Mr. Bass. He's a dog, man. He really is, and I think that's a perfect example of don't let anything stop you. Even if you have a season-ending injury, you continue to rehab. Take care of yourself and you work hard. Ain't nothing gonna stop you. I promise you that. So was there ever a time, and I know you that wasn't the standpoint you wanted to be, and I'm sure you wanted to be on the court getting a lot more minutes than what you were. What was it like to not be getting too many minutes? And when did that position in your mind come in and say, I want to go somewhere that I can kind of be on the court more?
It was kind of hard, Like I ain't be, I ain't never grow up being like sitting on the bench, like just watching people play. I ain't never grow up to do that. Like it was kind of hard too, cause I know for a lot of freshmen, they usually got to sit on the bench and like wait till the next. But at the time, I feel like I was ready, and me, like I know I was ready. I know I can compete out there with them dudes. But like I said, everything happened for a reason, and then me end up getting back with Coach Solo. It's just all worked out. God's plan. So
I got two advice questions for you, but this one is I want to ask this one first. For anybody that's listening and they're trying to, whether it be basketball or any other sport, they're trying to reach to the D1 level. What advice would you give to them that has helped you get where you are today, man?
Man, just gotta keep working. You can't take no days off. Like this, what you really want to do. Now you gotta take it serious and just wake up every day and go hard every day. Don't take no days off because them days fly by fast, and then you be looking back in the past like, dang, I should have done this. I should have done this. I should have did that. So you just gotta just work hard every day.
My second question is for kids that may have been in your shoes, sitting on that bench, looking to like, this is not where I want to be at. This is not the position I'm trying to be at right now. what advice would you give to them to say there's light at the end of the tunnel? And even if it's there or somewhere else, what advice would you give to them to keep pushing to reach that light?
And I say go after the dude that's in your position.
Yeah.
Go after him every day. Like, it's really just basically, I ain't gonna say pushing him. You basically pushing him like, no, you're not finna win. Like, I'm finna take your spot. That's how you approach practice. That's how you gotta approach yourself every day. Approach anything you do, really. If you're trying to make it in the next level, you gotta go take it. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. Like, it's really all a business. So you just gotta do your thing, bro. Real.
I like that. I like that a lot. And especially what you said at the end, it's really just a business. It is. So you got to take care of your business first. And I say this a lot. I try my best not to be selfish, but in certain positions, you got to be selfish, man. You got to put yourself ahead of others. And at the end of the day, you matter more. So be selfish. I'm not gonna say that too much, but be selfish. So y'all put yourself ahead of others sometimes, man. It's okay. You got to do what's right for you. You got to do what's best for you in the long term. So and that's prime proof right there. So getting back to it. Talk about your schedule, which would be another little bit of advice for people. Talk about your schedule, Western Kentucky. What time did you wake up? What were scheduled practices and weightlifting like for you? Did you have them in the morning? Did you have them a lot in the afternoon? And how much did class conflict within those times? And even like homework after a game or after practice, how much time did those affect your schedules?
But actually, all our classes is online, so we could. I ain't gonna say we could do them anytime we want to. Well, we'll come in. Well, I'll wake up at like 8:15. Go to study hall. We had study hall in the gym. Had study hall for about an hour, and then go back to the room. Probably like take a nap, and then we'll come back around like I want to say like 11. Come lift weights, and then we'll have practice like right after. And then practice probably went in to about 2:30 or 3. And then like the rest of the day, we'll have the rest of the day off. But like, sometimes I'll come back and shoot at night on a gun. And it was really like that every day until like the season started. Well, yeah, until conference season.
You may not have ever thought about this, but you have a story to tell, and that's you were part of the COVID season. And a lot of different things can implement you for being a part of that. But how weird was it kind of being in an arena more than most times with not too many people in the arena? And how did you adjust your game to kind of be conflicted? Because I feel like when we were playing in COVID, it was a lot more in terms street ball. You kind of were going at it a lot more grinder. And it was like no one's in the stands. We're just playing. We're just hooping. So what was that experience like for you on and off the court? And also, what were some things that you got to learn about yourself throughout the pandemic?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, West Kentucky, they have like one of the best fan bases of all time. Basketball, like, so like to me, like it really still feel like everybody's there. Like once they make noise, it get real loud up in there. But on like away trips, sometimes like people weren't there. So it's just like we have to bring our own energy and stuff and create our own energy off that. And then playing away, it was just harder to win because you got the refs and they got the home court advantage. And let's see. I feel like me as a person during the COVID experience, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really do too much anyway, so I really stayed in a lot. But like I feel like I became kind of distant from a lot of people. Just trying to focus on myself, trying to see where I was at. And me, I was kind of going through it too with not playing and stuff. So I don't know. I was just thinking about a lot of stuff at the time. It was hard a little bit.
All right, this is a fun part for me, and now you're at UAPB, and I'm going to talk about my quick little story. When you got ready, I found out the news you were transferring. I said, okay, I like this move. I don't know where he's going to go yet, but I like that he's getting somewhere fresh, and he's going to get somewhere that he can play a little bit more. When Coach Solomon was announced at UAPB, I said, I know where he's going. I know where he's going. Y'all don't know, but he was at Oral Roberts. Kylen went to Oral Roberts at first. I told him, you can ask my mom. I told her he's going to UAPB. I'm calling it right now. A couple of days later, I told you, mama. I told you. Y'all didn't want to hear, but I told y'all. But I just think that kind of fell into pieces for you. I don't know if UAPB was the first option for you, but with Coach Solomon going there, it was like no brainer. So talk about. I know you haven't been there too long. Just talk about the relationship and the bond that you've been able to make so far, UAPB, with the players and the coaches, and also how has it felt being back in the state of Arkansas, man?
I feel like me and my teammates are really getting closer every day. Like I can say them are my brothers.
Yeah.
I do anything for them because like we've gotten so close. And then my relationship with Coach Solo, it's been there since he recruited me. So I don't think our relationship is ever gonna like fail. And then being back at home, I just love that I can go home on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ain't gotta drive 6 hours to come back home. So like it's real good. And I'm in between Monticello and Conway, so
Yeah.
it was good.
I have another question for you. Did you have any inside details, just a little bit, that Coach Solomon was gonna be at UAPB? Is that something that you kind of knew beforehand, or was it just kind of a shock to you as much as it was everyone in the state that whoa, UAPB is about to get put back on the map? Was that a shock to you too, or did you have a little bit of beforehand information?
Nah,
Don't lie.
it was a shock to me. I mean, he told me he was interviewing for a job, but he wouldn't tell me. And so like whenever he ended up getting it, I was like, yeah, I'm there. So, yeah, I ain't know he was getting a job here. Like, he was telling me he was looking for a head coaching jobs though.
What was the initial reaction from your peers when you told everyone that you were committing to UAPB?
Man, I'm pulling up to the games, but we finna be deep, man. Y'all finna have that thing rocking. I'm like, yeah, we finna be lit. Everybody need to come out. We finna put on the show for real. And we got Sean Williams coming in. You know, everybody know him in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
We finna be tough.
As you get to be a part of this, and we're getting closer to wrapping things up, but you get to be a part of this, and I talk about this a lot. That the talent in the state, high school and collegiate wise, is growing, and I love to see that because it's I've come through times where there was like, yeah, nothing. I mean, I'm not no disrespect to anyone, but I mean like at the level that you guys are being able to play, the recognition you guys are getting, it's really dope to see. So talk about how fun and how much is on your mind that you're really representing the state of Arkansas every time you go on the court now, and also talk about the transition that you've been having to make. And I think I say that it's tough in COVID because it's not the same thing as it was a couple of years ago. You're transitioning from one spot in your life to another spot, and really everything isn't the same. So talk about that transition from Western Kentucky to UAPB and how different that's been for you, but also talk about, as I mentioned earlier, what it's like to kind of represent the state and what it's going to be like to kind of blow everything up for UAPB.
I'm excited to be here, like, because I know the past couple of years, UAPB's basketball program hasn't, been that good. But I feel like with Coach Solo being here and the pieces that we have on the team, I feel like that's gonna change this year and we're gonna have a shot at making it to the tournament. That's what I feel. And then all the eyes on, University of Arkansas Fayetteville, up there, the Hogs, everybody likes them. So it's just like, dang, I feel like we the underdogs. Like I feel like we got a lot to prove. and I feel like we hungry and we go work for our stuff, and then like transition from West Kentucky to here. I say it's kind of a difference because like everybody on campus knows you and stuff. They love to greet you and stuff, and like once you get back home, and it's different because you know the basketball team really wasn't that good, so like I don't know, they just overlook you, I guess.
Yeah, I understand. And this is I like to get closer to talking about who you are as what you want to leave behind once you're gone. What's the legacy you want to leave? So for anyone that doesn't know who you are exactly, and but they've gotten to know you throughout this, what's the legacy you want to leave when you're gone? Like, what's something that you always want people to remember about Kylen Milton? That you maybe worked hard, you were a given person, whatever it is. What does you want? What do you want to be remembered for?
He always rep this city,
Yeah.
Monticello, and I'm good to it. You know, like work for my stuff. So
I like that. I love that actually. Any shout outs you want to give to anybody, man? Whether it be a family, friend, uh, coaching, players, anybody, man.
shout out my family, the Milton, you know, Monticello 870.
Always. Um, I want to thank you again, man, because I know we for the listeners, you don't know, but we've been through a heck of a lot trying to get this to do this interview. Um,
Yeah,
they don't
been a
know.
minute.
And so I appreciate you again because this has been tough and I've been wanting to do this for a while. And I know your story is kind of just getting started, really. So I really want to get you back on once you have been able to do a lot more because I know your story is just getting started. So
Yeah.
you keep working, dog. And again, we're behind you, and and I'm gonna do my best to get down to some games. We're not too far away from the house. So y'all keep working. We're gonna be tuned in as much as possible. And again, thank you, dog. It means a lot for real.
So for sure, appreciate you for having me.
Always, man. And listeners, appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Next time y'all see me, I might have a fresh fade. I don't know. Huh? I'm debating. Should I look good for y'all or not? I'm just playing. I'm gonna do my best, man. But I'll see y'all next week. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We all love y'all, man. God bless everyone. Stay safe. Appreciate you again, Kylen Milton.
I appreciate you.